I was invited to make a public engagement work, and the work that has evolved is called Ghost Trees, the Ghost Tree Project, which has two parts: little bandaged forest of ghost trees and what I call care ribbon forest has evolved. The Ghost Tree Project came about as part of the sculpture event at the Botanic Gardens, which was of course meant to happen last year in 2020, and it was on the back of the fires. But I was invited to actually be part of it, to be the sculptor in residence. I'd wanted to do a work for the 2020 event that was very much about acknowledging the fires, the loss of the beings and the trees and the habitats, and to acknowledge the grief that is there. The grief is so immense. The grief is sitting there very close to the surface. It just seemed natural to me to do ghost trees, even though I have been asked why ghosts, and I've sort of come to the conclusion that basically I'm trying to, ghosts haunt, they remain in this realm, and in a way that's what I'm trying to do in this project. It's meant to be a reminder of what happened. So in its way it's a haunting project, but it's just acknowledging that so much has died and so much has gone. And it was the idea of bandaging little trees. And they're fencing wire, and I've used old sheets as bandages torn up into, and that act of bandaging is an act of acknowledging the wounding that is there. And of course the fires are a consequence of many years of environmental mismanagement. And so yes, it's that acknowledgement of the wounding. It's the acknowledgement that we have to take action to care. And then the little trees get planted into a ghost tree forest. I sprinkle flower between each tree, and that, yes, is an acknowledgement of ash, of burning, but it is also an acknowledgement that trees in healthy forests talk to each other through a symbiotic relationship of fungi with their roots. When I was introduced in late 2020, when this project was being revived, to this site, I was introduced to this tree, and the idea of hanging the ribbons was there in my mind by the time I got home. This project is a public engagement project, so I was inviting visitors to come into the space and be part of it, part of the making of it. But the stitching, even those who've never stitched before, and stitching is a relatively easy process, but what I saw in that process of stitching was a slowing down process, and what I've come to call incremental points of grief. As they prick into the fabric and they pull the thread through, it's sort of like opening up into the grief process and the acknowledgement of the losses through the fires. And then at the same time, it's like a healing process. And they're with themselves in a point of concentration. And the first ribbon that I stitched was Caring Counts. And all the other ribbons in the forest have a little message that's based on that frogs count, lizards count, streams count, rainbows count. And the word count is really important in that it actually notes the fact that these things do not get counted on the spreadsheet, the money system that runs our world. And yet, without all of these beings and elements of nature, our planet is not viable, not vibrant, and can't ultimately support us. And it's been such a diversity of people, from very young to not so young, all genders. The Ghost Tree Project is unashamedly intended to acknowledge grief. And I have welcomed tears into this space, and I've been blessed by that. And when I introduced the project and explained that it is meant to be an acknowledgement of the trees and the beings and the habitats that were lost, people do experience grief. I can see it in their faces and in their bodies, and some people have burst into tears. Some people have had direct experience with fires themselves. And I think there was a real relief that there was a space like this in which they can speak this stuff. I'm blessed to feel that this project has offered some way for the people who have actually come through to step into their grief and find ways that they may be able to heal it.